So, I just got a couple of passages from a sutta in the Majjhima Nikaya, Majjhima 74, Diganaka. It's the one where the wanderer Diganaka says, I hold the view that everything is unacceptable to me. But later on in the sutta, the Buddha starts talking about the body and the feeling. He says, but agivesana, this body, which is material, made of the four great elements, produced by mother and father, an accumulation of rice and porridge, of the nature of impermanence, rubbing, crushing, disintegration and destruction, should be seen as impermanent, as an arrow, as misery, as an affliction, as other, as disintegrating, as empty, as not self.
What do all those things have in common? All those epithets.
What do they have in common?
What's a common thread through all of them? Read that again.
Yeah, well, so at the beginning he said so that it's material, it's made of the four great elements, it's made by mother and father, it's accumulated, it's an accumulation of rice and porridge. It's the nature of impermanence, rubbing, crushing, disintegration, destruction.
Rubbing, crushing, disintegration, destruction, not self, what all those things, other, it's another, what all those things have in common.
Well, there it's like that. It's basically it's not mine. It's not produced by me. It's made by my mum and dad.
What's the main characteristic of something that would define something is yours and something is not yours?
So something.
What's the difference between the two?
So something that's mine is in some way there's some pleasure involved in it.
More. It is because of the pleasure, sure. But how does that manifest? Something that's yours, which of course it's yours because it's pleasant.
Yeah.
How is that manifested?
How is the pleasure manifested?
No, how is that which is yours?
How is that which is mine manifested?
As opposed to that which is not yours. Now you might experience pleasure on both accounts.
Okay.
But what's the difference?
How about it comes first?
No, both come first in a way, because both come from the same place. Basically, the one that is yours and the one that isn't yours are differentiated by the control or lack of it.
Okay.
And that's exactly the common thread. You have no control.
Yeah.
And any of those descriptions, it just reinforces that same thing.
Yeah.
You are not the master of that body, which is you.
Yeah. It's matter, so it's like it's kind of opaque.
Like it's matter, exactly. It's four great elements. You have no control.
Exactly.
It's made by mother and father, so the way it came to be has nothing to do with it. Accumulation of random rice and porridge.
Yeah.
Again, nothing to do with it. Subject to rubbing, disintegration, friction, basically falling apart. And it says it's other. So it's your body is closer to the, like when you perceive others, you clearly imply their bodies are not yours.
Yeah.
So the nature, I have no control over others to that extent. Yeah. Well, your body is closer to that that you think others are than it is what you think your body is for you.
Yeah, that's my translation. So para is I think the common translation for that is foreign or alien or something. But just it's other. It's like it's
even if you translate as foreign, that's exactly other bodies are foreign to you because it's not your body.
Exactly.
Well, you want to regard your body as foreign as other bodies to you.
Yeah. So that's the thing. So at the beginning he says the body is material. It is made of the four great elements. It's made by your mother and father. But then it says it should be seen as. It should be seen as impermanent, suffering, as a disease, as an abscess, as an arrow.
So, if the body were not truly impermanent, disease, an arrow, and so on, you can't see it like that.
Yeah.
But it is truly like that. But the reason you don't see that, because you're ignoring it, literally. You're ignoring those characteristics because they are unpleasant.
Yeah.
And as the Buddha said, that ignorance is gratuitous. It shouldn't be there, but it's beginningless. There was no point before which you were not ignorant, then you suddenly became ignorant. So that's why you should make the effort to see it correctly, the way it actually is, and stop ignoring it. And you will undo the ignorance or avidya.
So can you say then that, so if you should, so the body should be seen in these ways. It's like these should be the significance of the body for you.
Yeah. The context of your daily experience should be that.
Yeah.
Make the effort
when you
and
think
establish
body,
it at the back of your mind. And
that's what you're thinking.
Yeah. Let it endure then while you go about and do things with your body. And then you will realize how less and less you'll be able to engage with things that require passion, that require taking body to be yours, that require you to ignore the nature of the body being subjected to destruction and non-control.
Yeah. Because I think people will begin by having this notion of, well, my body, and then I have to think of my body like that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. The difference is between establishing the context and attending to it like that. It's basically you can't do it even if you want to. You're not supposed to make your body.
No.
Oh, it's actually ugly. Because you'll be doing it on the basis of your ignorance first.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So I'm ignoring the true nature of the body, and now on top of that, I'm just trying to paste the new nature that I've been told it's a better one. And that's how people usually misunderstand the whole Satipatthana, for that matter.
Yeah.
You think you should be attending to every second of your body and not let it slip, because it slips back into permanence, non-destruction and control. No, you want to surmount. So there is I have a control over this body to some extent. It's not denying it. But you want to see that it doesn't matter how much control you can exercise upon your body, fundamentally it's fully within the fact that the body is given there first and you have no control over that.
Yeah.
And if the body were to be taken away, it will be taken away.
Yeah.
You can't stop that. So it's, instead of trying to override your sense of control, deny it, it's impermanent, it's ugly, it's impermanent, you actually want to first acknowledge it and then see beyond it. See the context that it's created to it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's effortless, mindfulness if done rightly.
Yeah.
If you establish the context that this body is subject to impermanence, to destruction, to everything else, and you let I am subjected to that because that's what the nature of the body is, okay, now I just need to protect that context. Don't get carried away, don't forget about it, don't get distracted in regard to it.
So, but in order to do that, you need to it's almost like rewrite the significance of body for you. Because you'll have these notions of body as my body, that I need to worry about.
Well, you need to see a problem with the way things are for you, in order to start making effort to maybe fix it, sort it out.
Yeah.
But what you need to do first, truly, is restrain the outpours of the body, the actions that are fully rooted in you taking body to be yours, that you are in control of it, that you have every right to it, that you're fully entitled to it. That you there is nothing wrong with getting pleasure through the body, because the body is yours, the pleasure is available, why not? All these things. So you need to start restraining that in order to get to see it correctly. And you wouldn't do that unless you have understood to some extent that there is a problem with the way things are. Main problem being you're subjected to suffering on account of that very body.
Yeah. It's because if you aren't changing your behaviour, you are simply contradicting the direction of
of course. Well, it's like as we said before, your goal is to and the sutta says the same actually. It's similar from the suttas. Your goal is to light the fire by collecting some good wood that you can basically rub and create a spark and get the whole fire going. But you keep that wood in the water. And you're not making effort to take it out and dry it out. And then you're trying to make the fire at the same time with the wet wood. It's utterly, completely futile. And that's exactly people who are practicing Dhamma and the teaching without keeping the precepts. Or even without being celibate. You can't. So it's just contradiction in terms.
So, so the Buddha's goes on, so one should see the body as impermanent, as suffering, as a disease, as an abscess, as an arrow, as misery, as an affliction, as other, as disintegrating, as empty, as not self. For one, seeing this body as impermanent, as suffering, like this, whatever desire for the body, affection for the body, giving into the body, that is abandoned.
So if you maintain the context of the correct nature of the body, all the things that have been dependent upon absence of that context will disappear. Things such as desire, ill will, wrong views. But see, that's the thing. You need to see the body correctly for it is. Because now, when your mind is affected with ignorance, when the only way you relate to your body is through sensuality, what you think the body is, it's basically the product of you taking wrongly your own body. It's not what the body is. So you need to start restraining that and then start undoing it in order to arrive at the point where you recognize this is what my body is. So and then dwell and develop that context.
And recollection simply, recollectedness of the body, mindfulness of the body, is basically just understanding what the body is.
Exactly. You don't need to fabricate anything new there. No. You just need to undo stuff that's obscuring it, for which you're responsible.
Covering up.
Actively
the right
covering
understanding of what body is.
The obvious nature that will become obvious and apparent here and now, if you stop looking away from it, if you stop ignoring it.
There's another sutta in the Samyutta Nikaya, the Kanda Samyutta, that says that an instructed bhikkhu or a virtuous bhikkhu should contemplate the five aggregates: matter, feeling, perception, determinations, consciousness, as these things. And then he says, if he does, then he may become a sotapanna, and a sotapanna should contemplate these things. If he does,
it's the same thing.
So body, matter, the five aggregates, all essentially have this same significance.
Well, yes, and not just that they have the same significance, same nature.
The same nature.
They're all within the same thing. So it's not that you start first with mindfulness of the body and then you go and find your feelings, your perceptions, your intentions left and right from it. It's within it. So if you have mindfulness of the body rightly, you have mindfulness of the five aggregates rightly. Because you can't experience, this is my aggregate of form, and it's separate from these other aggregates, and you can kind of look between them and so on. You are the whole five. It's always the five, not 3.5. So whether you're mindful of the five aggregates or mindful of the body as the dart, as the disease, as misery, you're mindful of the same thing. And dispassion will be the result of it. So that's why even, and he says, you can become a sotapanna by doing it. Exactly. Because even as a newcomer, so to speak, a beginner to the practice, if you are actually, instead of trying to find a magical meditation technique that will sort your issues out, if you actually start practicing virtue, investing effort in sense restraint, and then dwell on the nature of what you already are, subject to death, subject to illness, subject to disease, to old age, and all other accident, misfortune. You don't need to wait, and quite the opposite. You don't need to wait for those things to happen. You have to do it before those things happen. But they are obviously there, which is the entire point of lay life for most people. It's actually engaging with things that will help them distract themselves from the obvious. That you will lose everything, that you will die, go sick, lose your health, lose your strength, lose your youth, lose all these things. Yet, all the effort you make is just to help you ignore that. That's why people are afraid to be alone, afraid to be without distractions. That's why boredom always turns into existential dread if it's prolonged. So give me company, give me family, give me distraction, give me things to do, give me some purpose, because otherwise I will drown in myself.
And don't, God forbid, talk to me about these things.
And often people then take on to practice the Dhamma for those very wrong reasons. Not because they want to undo what they are. No, you just want Dhamma then to take them on a whole new level of basically forgetting what they are.
Yeah.
But if you take the right order of practice, virtue, sense restraint, and then actually acknowledging the nature of your own existence, which is what mundane right view pretty much is,
Yeah.
then getting the right view of a Sotapanna, well, you won't have to wish it.
So
It will have to happen because you're not running away from your own existence anymore.
mundane right view is there is mother, there is father, there is giving, there is
There is
sacrifice,
given,
there is offering,
there are things
there
that are unfathomable, there are things that are fathomable, there
action,
are
are
results,
of
the
your
results of
actions.
actions. Basically, there is responsibility.
Yeah.
Means there is also like the fact that I don't know. That is the lack of my knowledge. That is the fact.
Yeah.
You admit all those things. You acknowledge them.
Mm-hmm.
So mundane right view is basically the right acknowledgement or acknowledgement of the right things.
Mm-hmm.
There are things that are not in my control that my life depends upon.
Yeah.
And again, you can ask anyone, even a non-Buddhist person who is not interested in meditation or any form of practice, fundamentally, they would come down and admit, yeah, of course, I know that I cannot escape death.
Yeah.
I know that I cannot escape sickness.
Mm.
But it will take them a lot of effort just to admit that temporarily. Everything else then that's done is to cover it up and forget about it. And that's exactly why you remain enslaved by those things, because of your own effort to remain there imprisoned. Those things can't imprison you. You imprison
Unless
yourself through those things.
By everything you're doing is a response to them.
Yes, absolutely. Possessions, ownership, everything. So that's really what the right practice is. Nothing else, no other technique necessary.
Mm-hmm.
If you keep your sila, restrain your senses, and then admit what's obvious.
Yeah.
Don't distract yourself from obvious context of your life.
That's the technique.
Yeah, that's your technique. Yeah, exactly. But that can be very, very unpleasant.
Mm-hmm.
But it's only unpleasant because you never dealt with it. You never wanted to deal with it. So now it's accumulated, lots of it. Probably you didn't want to deal with it for lifetimes.
Mm.
But the sooner you start, the better.
Yeah. This sutta then goes on to talk about feelings. And it just says something, I think it's quite interesting. It says, Agivesana, there are these three feelings: pleasant feeling, painful feeling, neither painful nor pleasant feeling. Agivesana, I don't know why he calls them Agivesana, but anyway, Agivesana.
It was his clan's name or
That's
something
what
like
they
that.
say, I'm not sure. Anyway, Agivesana, on whatever occasion one feels a pleasant feeling, on that occasion one feels neither painful feeling nor neither painful nor pleasant feeling. On that occasion one feels only a pleasant feeling. On whatever occasion one feels a painful feeling, one feels neither a pleasant feeling nor neither painful nor pleasant feeling. On that occasion one feels only a painful feeling. And on whatever occasion...
So in other words, whatever occasion what's felt, that's the only thing that's felt.
Yeah. That's the only thing that's felt. There is only that feeling.
Yeah.
And I think, if you think about that, I think generally people wouldn't understand things like that,
No,
because
of course,
they would say, well, no, hang on a minute.
It will take a lot of undoing to arrive just at that.
Yeah. Because you'll have a particular feeling right now, laced with desire, let's say, and it's for something, thinking that if I do that, then I'll have this other feeling.
Yeah.
As if those two feelings are both present, like that one in the future.
Well,
and
they
this
are
one that I have now.
present to the assumed sense of self.
Yeah.
That's independent of whatever's being felt. Which
Yeah.
is a contradiction in terms, but it's a contradiction that will remain real as such for as long as you don't face it and undo it.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. A common person thinks they're separate from the feelings. Feelings happen to me.
Yeah.
Now I have this feeling, now I have that feeling. I remain unchanged throughout these feelings coming and going.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, you realize, the same as we describe the body, you are subjected to the feeling, not other way around.
Yeah.
And that's why the Buddha would ask people who would say, yes, feeling is mine, as in I am first, feelings belong to me as a result of it.
Yeah.
The Buddha would ask, well, which feeling then belongs to you?
Yeah.
Because if you were in control of your own feelings, you would never feel unpleasure.
Pain, yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
Because literally, whenever this pleasure touches you, all you do all your efforts are rooted in trying to overcome it.
Yeah.
Everything is rooted in trying to overcome pain, yet here you are claiming you are in charge of your pain.
But all those intentions to remove the pain are all within that pain.
Absolutely. All intentions to protect the pleasure are within that pleasure.
Yeah.
All intentions to run away from the neither pain nor pleasure, as in boredom basically, are within that feeling.
So how can you, any attempt to escape the feeling?
Impossible, because there's no outside of the feeling.
Yeah.
You're always within the feeling.
Yeah.
And the fact that they will change means you're not always within the same feeling.
Yes.
Because if it were just one feeling, well, you could then at least say, well, this feeling doesn't change.
Yes.
So it's okay. But they do change.
Yeah.
So the container within which you're fully enclosed, that you cannot step outside of it, changes on its own, and that change is utterly external to you. You can't
even think about it.
Yeah, you cannot even conceive it theoretically.
Yeah, exactly.
How it becomes the other.
No.
You're just subjected to this, and then it endures.
And everything.
And then you just find out you're subjected to something else that endures.
And
at
everything
that
is
time.
coloured by that.
Everything's coloured by that.
Yeah.
Everything is within that.
Yeah.
That's what's meant, like the actual change, as in impermanence, as in subject to change, subject to impermanence, is abrupt. It's not actually observable. If it's observable, means you're separated from it, and you can observe it. Point A to point B. Yeah. No, you are within point A. There is no point B within point A.
No.
It's just point A.
Yeah.
Then you realize, oh, now it's another point A.
Oh,
so you can remember the previous one, but only on the ground of the current present enduring feeling. So yes, you can have same pleasure experienced in the future, but it's not the same pleasure in that sense, because it's another.
Yes. Yeah. There is only one feeling.
There is only one feeling within which...
You can find other feelings, but they're all going to be within...
Yes.
This one
Fundamentally, there is only one feeling felt.
Yeah.
Pain, pleasure, or neither.
Yeah.
And again, realizing that, you realize that the whole subject to change, the whole existence, it's actually not rooted in you and not rooted in your point of view, but rooted in things arising on their own.
Yeah.
As in, I'm subjected to this feeling that has arisen on its own, and so basically burdens me as such.
Mm-hmm.
So recognizing that it's not rooted in you, basically it's recognizing what truly impermanence is, as in subject to change.
Which is what the Buddha then is saying.
Unknowable.
So he says, once he said there's only, one feels only one kind of feeling, he then says, Agivesana, pleasant feeling is impermanent, determined, dependently arisen, with the nature of wasting away, of passing away, of fading away, of cessation. Same for painful feeling, same for neither painful nor pleasant feeling.
And the important thing for somebody who wants to contemplate this is to realize there is no in between. You only find yourself, you can only find yourself fully within already feeling that already endures.
Yeah.
It's not there is pleasure, and now it's disappearing, and now there is pain.
Yeah.
Again, that assumes you as an external point of view to this process.
Yes.
But it isn't. It can't be, because you are within it.
And that would also be putting you first.
Of course,
and then those
of course.
Feelings.
You are the one that's unchanged.
Yeah,
process
exactly.
changes.
Yeah.
Feelings change. I remain unchanged.
Yeah.
I might not be indifferent towards it, but you still have a grain of assumption that you are separate from it to the extent that you can observe to and in between and how one becomes the other. No, you find yourself within feeling that already endures.
Yeah.
And then, so how does the feeling change? That's not on you.
Yeah.
See, how does the feeling change? Question implies, how can I step outside of this feeling and see how it becomes another? As in, how can I repossess it?
Yes.
How can I regain the control of its own origin and cessation, and that's how I'll be safe. That's why that view, it's not just like on a level of theory, it's deeply emotionally rooted view of, I need safety in regard to this that I'm subjected to.
Yeah.
The safety is if I repossess the way it came to be, I'll be in charge of it.
Yeah.
So that's why you automatically start assuming the external from it as means of dealing with it. But you realize, no, I have no say in it, and nor can I step outside of it. That's why, like, you have to stop acting out of your feelings, as in sense restraint comes first.
Yeah.
Allow them to endure, and then you get to understand their nature.
Yeah.
You realize, doesn't matter what feeling is present, whether it's pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. Your restraint has been developed beforehand, and now you realize, And because it's present on its own, that's why it will have to change. And that's the understanding of Sotapanna. Whatever has arisen,
all of that,
that's why
all
it's
of that
impermanent.
has the nature to cease. Yeah.
That's why it has the nature to cease. Not because I can observe its cessation, but because it came on its own and I had no say in it.
No, that's his nature. That's exactly. That's not.
It's of its nature to cease. Not like look, it disappeared. That's why it's impermanent.
No, that's almost like you're
outside of it and
making
seeing its destruction. So recognizing there is no in between the two feelings. There is only one within which you are subjected to, and you have to endure it. And then you just, like, next time you just, like, as we've done those reflections about what's your current mood. Is it pleasant, unpleasant, neutral? Oh, it's pleasant. So now you're doing this, you're thinking, time passes, the same feeling endures, sometimes for a day or two even, the same mood will endure on the general level. But then next day, like, you don't feel right. As in, there is discomfort fundamentally. Everything is fine, actually. There is nothing particularly bothering you, but there is some weird, I don't know, discomfort of some weird anxiety or something at the back of your mind without anything specific. And that's it. Now you just recognize that change has occurred. As in, now you're subjected to something else. So if you stop assuming outside of it, stop trying to get rid of it, stop trying to distract yourself from it, you'll become familiar with that very abrupt nature of change within which you are. You cannot conceive external. And that's how you will develop this passion towards it. Because there will be no self-centered point of view to maintain that passion anymore. Because any point of view you have is within the present enduring feeling. Or any point of view you have is within the present enduring body that is the dart, misery, pain, subject to change. It's the same principle. Whether you take it on the level of the feeling or on the level of the body, you want to see that you are within it, not the other way around. As in, you are enclosed by it. So whether you look beyond it, your look and your thoughts of beyond it is within the necessary basis of present enduring body. It's within the necessary basis of present enduring feeling. And then the fact that present enduring feeling is felt differently at different times means you have no say in its internal working, so to speak. It's inconceivable. Because you can only be subjected to it. So you realize all you need to do is then restrain your effort, your attitude towards the feeling that's felt pleasantly, understand your attitude towards feeling that's felt unpleasantly, and again, keep your attitude in check, don't distract yourself towards the feeling that's felt neutrally. Because how these feelings are felt or why, it's actually relevant. What is relevant is that you're oppressed by them, which is why you automatically want to act and get rid of them, or prolong them and so on.
He goes on to say, seeing in this way, a noble disciple turns away from pleasant feeling, turns away from painful feeling, turns away from neither painful nor pleasant feeling. Turning away, he becomes dispassionate. Dispassionate, he's liberated.
Liberated, not oppressed anymore by any change that might occur within the five aggregates.
And then he goes, and he finishes and says, in this way, Agivesana, a bhikkhu with a liberated mind doesn't agree with anyone, doesn't disagree with anyone. Whatever is said in the world is expressed by him without holding.
But it's fully independent. Like, agreeing or disagreeing with anyone means basically adopting or relating to their view externally to that extent. But now you've abandoned everything, literally whatever you said, it's factual. Because none of it is rooted in trying to get rid of the feelings or repossess the body and so on. So there's no agreement, no disagreement, it's just factual. So two arahants, they don't agree with each other. They're two independent individuals, basically. Externally, they're in perfect agreement.
But
because they're not making effort to agree.
But they're not actually agreeing with another person's view or something.
That's why they can't argue either. You can't argue with someone. It's either they're wrong or they'll agree with you if you're an arahant. Because you're not agreeing with you. They're agreeing with universal nature of things, which is what you fully understood, developed, which is why you did abandon your sense of self and the whole thing, which is what makes you an arahant. But yes, if you hear that, like if a non-arahant hears that, he can sound extremely conceited. as he did when the Buddha first basically spoke to that man. When he said, "Oh, you look very bright. Whose teaching did you follow?" "I follow no one's teaching. I'm my own leader. I'm the supreme leader of gods and humans. Nobody's my match." Pure fact.
Yeah, exactly.
Purely factual statement. He has understood the universal truth of it all, freed himself as a result of it. But this man is like, "Oh, wow, okay, well, so good for you, friend," and dismissed it.
Whatever.
Whatever, yeah. Like, gee, this guy's full of himself.
Yeah,
That's how it sounds.
Yeah.